I'm Roy Lee Lindsay with the North Carolina Pork Council, and I want everyone to remember bacon makes everything better.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the David Glenn Show, now seen and heard exclusively here on the North Carolina Sports Network. Our next guest has been with me many, many times. He is the Senior Vice President of Events for Octagon, and more importantly for today's purposes, he is also the longtime tournament director for the SAS Championship, one of the biggest golf events each year here in the great state of North Carolina, and one of the top events every year on the PGA Champions Tour. The SAS Championship, whose star-studded field enables fans to get up-close views of many of the legends of golf as they're competing right in front of you, takes place all this week at Prestonwood Country Club in Cary, with all sorts of family-friendly events and other fun leading up to and actually all the way through the 3 rounds of competitive play, which are scheduled for this Friday through this Sunday. Jeff Kleiber, welcome back to the David Glenn Show. How are you?
I'm doing great, David. Always great to be with you.
Thank you. Always good to have you with us. Before you even get to the legends of golf themselves, I know the SAS Championship has essentially embedded itself in the Triangle community here with a full week's worth of events. Some of them have already happened, but all the way through that final round I mentioned, which this year, again, is Sunday, October 13th. So now is the time to call up saschampionship.com if you're dialed into this interview. What is the best way to summarize, kind of from the 10,000 feet view, just the magnitude and impact of this event over 2+ decades at this point, including with your partnership with the YMCA and your impact on the Triangle community?
No, I mean, I think the way we talk about it, and we've talked about it before, David, it's 7 weeks of golf and a lot of community events for a 52-week impact on this community. We've been a partner with the YMCA as our signature charity since 2010, and what they do with the Y Learning program is amazing. You know, getting 1,500 kids every year, you know, that extra tutorial help that they need to get to grade level in reading and math is just so critical for our community. And it's something that SAS and the Goodnight family embraces and focuses their charitable giving on. And so it's an easy, you know, partnership, an easy collaboration with the SAS Championship and the YMCA of the Triangle. You know, we do a lot throughout the week to bring in more than just the golf fan. You know, on Tuesday, we had 250, you know, women leaders in the Triangle that just had a phenomenal time at our Women's Day presented by Blue Cross NC. You know, we had, you know, local panel with Nina Kang and Jenny Levy, you know, UNC's lacrosse coach, Duke's, you know, AD, that talked about, you know, champions mindset, which was just amazing. And then we had a bunch of other local leaders on that stage that really did a great job of bringing Stronger Today, Better Tomorrow, that theme this year together. And then it just continues out throughout the week. Food Truck Friday, you know, 5K, you know, lots of great ways to get our hospitality at 18 or 17. Tickets are still available to, you know, watch a little golf, but also have a lot of fun with your friends and family out at the tournament. But it really comes back to, we do this for 7 days for that 52-week impact.
And folks can learn more about every aspect of what Jeff said at the website, saschampionship.com. It is not an exaggeration, and that's one of the reasons I smile every time I see you, to say that you have actually helped some of my dreams come true. Thanks in part to you and your staff, I have been able to interview over a lot of years at this point, Bernhard Langer, Padraig Harrington, Darren Clark, Tom Lehman, David Duval, and I mean at least a dozen others that I watched myself when they were brilliant players, first on the PGA Tour and now on the Champions Tour. How do you summarize the highlights of this year's field at the SAS Championship? Because I know every year you have Hall of Famers, you have returning champions, and depending on their age, sometimes, you know, not everybody's 50 yet. So every year you get to welcome in at least some new guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, you rattled off names. It's like the history of golf. Like if you
Crazy.
pulled a book off your shelf, it's like the history of golf with the names that we have every year. We've got 6 Hall of Famers this year, probably highlighted by Padraig, who just went into the Hall of Fame down in Pinehurst during the Open back in June. He's back. I think this is the 3rd year he's played here. He's playing great. He's got a couple of wins this year. We've got major champions. I think it's 16 or 17 people who won majors, some of them multiples, including Stuart Sink, who's playing his for the first time here this year at the SAS Championship. We've got most of the top players from this year's Charles Schwab Cup. We're the last event before the playoffs start next week for that title. That will happen in early November. And Ernie Els, our 2020 champions, leading that list. And then, 9 of our past champions, including Bernard and Monty, and you said Lehman and Lee Jansen, and our defending champion, Rod Pampling, who's just a great, great guy and is hungry to defend his title this week.
You guys tend to, if not every year, every couple, 3 years, sprinkle in something new. Yep. And I had a small hiatus after, well, you guys had a break, a jolt from the pandemic like the rest of us as well. But relatively new to me is your HBCU Invitational, which, of course, is part of this week's events, but also helps raise money for the historically black colleges and universities. Some of them right here in our backyard, but it's another chance for people to watch great golfers competitively at the same. I don't know how you do it at Prestonwood, but there's a lot of golf going on at the same time. Tell us about the HBCU Invitational and
how you can do it anywhere other than Prestonwood with our 54 holes. But we are a one-of-a-kind event. There's no other collegiate event being played at the same time, at the same place as a PGA Tour sanction. That doesn't matter if it's PGA Tour, Korn Ferry, or PGA Tour champions. We're the only ones, and maybe the only ones who will ever try it. But it is an unbelievable experience for the kids. So this is our 3rd year of doing it. We'll have 15 men's and women's teams. So 5 women's teams, 5 Division I men's teams, and 5 Division II men's teams. They get into town Thursday night. They come to here. We're at SAS campus for our welcome reception tonight, where everybody figures out who they play with at the pro-am. But they come here Friday morning for a career day that really is first class. We've got LinkedIn, we've got SAS, we've got, even Octagon talking about working in the sports world with these student athletes. And then they get to see the golf course Friday afternoon for a practice round. And then first thing Sunday morning, or Saturday morning before the sun's even up, they're out there warming up to play 36 holes on Saturday and then 18 holes on Sunday. We mix in a dinner on Saturday night I think I've got 10 or 12 players already signed up from the PGA Tour champion side who's going to come share, what their legendary careers are like with these future legends, where their careers are just beginning. It really is something special. It was driven by our partnership with the tour. Really SAS's focus on diversity and inclusion, and truly partnering with the Black College Golf Coaches Association, who helps us recruit the teams, manage the event, and all of that. And you mentioned the funding this year. That's something that's new. The first place team in each of the 3 divisions will get $10,000 for their golf operations for their team. And one of the things we saw last year, and that's where you just see these fledgling programs that are doing what they can to play and give opportunity for kids. We had torrential rain on Saturday last year. The rain gear that they had just represents where they are in the development of those programs, and every dollar is going to make a difference in those kids' experience at those schools. And we're just happy we can start there, and who knows where we'll be able to take it in the future to be able to support these very special programs.
Michael Berard, Managing Director Investments with the Founders Group at Stifel, works with a select group of high net worth individuals and institutions to develop and implement investment plans tailored to their specific objectives and risk tolerances. If you are interested in highly personalized, well-researched guidance and outstanding personal service, you can contact Michael at 984-364-2002. That's 984-364-2002. Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. If you are anywhere near Wilmington, North Carolina, and looking for a little live music, a cold beer, a tangy slushy, a fun crowd, or just a taste of the good life at the beach, Jimmy's Bar in Wrightsville Beach is the place for you. Located on North Lumina Avenue, just 1 block from the sand and waves of the Atlantic Ocean, Jimmy's features a full bar with nightly beer and drink specials, and it hosts musical performers almost every day of the year. One more fun fact, Jimmy's annual Children's Bike Drive, which started in 2017, now distributes more than 1,000 bicycles and helmets per year to young people in the Wilmington area and beyond. Jimmy's Bar, your home away from home on Lumina Avenue in Wrightsville Beach. We have a college football tour and have had it for a long time that we take across the state, and we have always incorporated what they call the Aggie Eagle Classic. It's North Carolina A&T against North Carolina Central, Greensboro, Durham, both HBCUs. I believe they're the 2 largest HBCUs here in North Carolina. So it's cool that you guys are doing that on the golf side with both in-state schools and other top programs around the country. I've been there many times. I can try to describe an experience at the SAS Championship. When you think of either a person who has not been to this event yet, or maybe a family who has not been to this event yet, how do you put yourself in their shoes and describe to them what they could experience later this week at Prestonwood, in your words?
Well, I'll probably narrow it down to 3 things. So the first thing is parking is easy. You park at Bond Park. You get dropped off literally 50 feet from the first tee, putting green, 18th green. Like I'm not sure in golf you could get dropped off in a better location to get your experience going. The second thing is the guys are so approachable, just being able to get up close to the ropes, get up on the driving range, hang around the putting green. Like those are things that are really special that, again, these guys get it. They've been out on tour, or a lot of them have been on tour for 20, 30 years. The third thing is there's 2 really great hospitality opportunities that we still have available that gives you great views, to see the drama. Our 17th hole is a reachable par 5. We used to call it the Eagle's Nest. It's now our Mellow Mushroom Chill Club. But you can still buy tickets in there where bars included, food's included, and it's more of our party box for sure, the vibe up there, but you get a great view of the 17th hole. And then last year we introduced the porch at 18. Again, this is a little bit different where you get a reserved seat, but you're there when everything happens on that last hole and you can see all the groups coming through. So those are kind of the 3 things: easy to park, up close and personal, and you can still get great hospitality opportunity still available, as you said, on the website, saschampionship.com.
I have both hit the windows of those fine-looking suites with a wayward approach shot at your media golf tournament, and thanks in part to you and your staff, I've gotten to experience it, from the other side of the glass, as they say in hockey, where it is a first-class way to view first-class golfers in a really up-close setting while having a lot of amenities around you. It's also cool if you just want to walk within or on the outside of the ropes, but around the course to a degree, whether you go for the VIP treatment or just an everyday trip to Prestonwood Country Club, I can't recommend it any more highly. Any last thoughts as we let you go, and thank you for your time during what I know is a very
Thank you for having me, David. You've always been a great supporter of the event now in our 24th year. The one thing I would just say is one of the other new wrinkles this year is Folds of Honor Friday. We are going to honor the fallen and disabled first responders and military from our country with an opening ceremony on Friday. We will make a $30,000 donation to Folds of Honor, which is focused on giving scholarships to those families of fallen and disabled veterans and first responders. And then pretty cool, on the 18th hole, our flag on Friday will be an American flag. And so we obviously aren't going to let that touch the ground. So when they're playing the 18th hole, the caddies will hand the flag to military vets, first responders, and honorees of of folds of honor. So it's a really cool, thing that we've added in conjunction with the PGA Tour. And I've been blown away at the response of how excited people are about that. So that'll be 10 a.m. Friday morning when we do that opening ceremony, and then 18 all day where you'll have the American flag there.
Last thing for you, and this is kind of funny. I've known you so long. I've never seen you swing a golf club, so I don't even know if you're a great golfer or you don't golf or you're somewhere in between. But I was honored to be asked to be a part of a different type of Folds of Honor event for many years, where the pros at Prestonwood would do that 24 hours of golf, where they've got like miners helmets on, and glow in the dark balls. And I didn't play during the overnight portion because I have enough trouble finding my ball in the daylight. But I wonder your answer to this question. If you are a golfer, I'm not a good golfer, but I'm not a nervous golfer. But they would ask me to do the ceremonial tee shot at Prestonwood that got their 24 hours started. So I would start with them playing the daylight, and then they did the hard work. But I got to tell you, Jeff, I'm not a nervous person overall. I've interviewed presidents of the United States, and I swear on a stack of Bibles, I was not really nervous. Interviewing presidents one-on-one or these Hall of Fame golfers, I'm just not wired that way. I was nervous hitting an opening ceremonial tee shot. Do you get that way?
My golf skill was not why I was hired, and my golf skill working in the business for 30 years hasn't improved. Technology has, but we will have 3 honorary starters on Friday morning. We've got 2 vets and
Cool.
one of the honorees from the Folds of Honor, and they'll probably have that same nervous energy that you had, because I know I would for sure.
Yeah, I might have hit more good than bad over the years I was asked to hit that ceremonial tee shot. But, my casual round of golf that you treated us to not too long ago, I wasn't nervous over the ball one time that day before we got hit with a torrential downpour in an otherwise beautiful event. But, yeah, these guys are the ultimate pros. They won't be nervous Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the SAS Championship. Learn more at saschampionship.com. Great to see you, Jeff. Thanks for all of the your assistance in a lot of ways over the years, and best wishes with the rest of your event this week.
Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.
Jeff Kleiber, SAS Championship Tournament Director. Thanks to you across North Carolina for joining us on this edition of the David Glenn Show.